So we can tape only you and the journalist. Okay, Camille?
Okay.
Angela, you can disappear also. So we can tape only the image of them. Hola, hola Ernesto.
Hello, Ernesto.
Hi.
Hola.
Hola, nice to meet you, Camille.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So thank you so much for your time. How are you, Roman? Thank you so much for your
I'm
time.
good, thanks. Oh, it's okay.
Congratulations for the movie. I love sci-fi and apocalyptic movies. By the way, excuse my English, it's kind of rusty, but I'll do my best.
Very good. It's very good English.
And yeah, and if you could speak slow because your British accent sometimes is difficult for the translation, please. I love British accent, but you know, sometimes it's difficult for a Latin American guy.
Sure.
So why the end of the world, Camille?
Oh, I know. It's quite bleak, isn't it? The end of the world. Well, I wasn't expecting to make a film during COVID. And I wasn't expecting the film to come out during a pandemic. And I thought it was a good metaphor for the issues I wanted to talk about in the film.
Yes, I know. You want to talk about how sometimes we don't think about things that are given, like, you know, an order and a way to live, you know. I know authoritarianism.
Yes.
Do you like especially apocalyptic movies?
I do. I like genre when it reflects the reality of today. I think heightened genre and realism are a very great mix. So I especially like that. Roman's a little less interested in the apocalyptic films. He's like, oh, another apocalyptic film. Oh, it's the end of the world. But I did find The Road, which is fascinating. That is me when I say I don't want to live in a post-apocalyptic monochrome world. I would say that's definitely my sentiment, not just the characters.
Okay, and how, Roman, and I know this is a usual question, but is mommy a good director?
Well, she's right next to me, so I feel like this. Only one.
I know, and the movie talks about authoritarianism, and here we are.
What do you actually think?
Yes, I really enjoyed it. It felt weirdly normal because I guess, you know, your mother or people's parents always tells them what to do, or you know, I'm always directed by my mom in real life. So, it was just like that, but on a set.
No, but right now your salary is justified. I mean, you're making money in order to be directed by your mother, so it's great.
He didn't make much money on this film. No, he didn't make much money. None of us did. I think everyone was very generous with their time. He got paid a little bit. I got paid less. It was a brave decision for our producer, Matthew Bourne, to make this film, but it was a low budget, very low budget. So I can't even say he earned a lot of money, I'm afraid.
That's not a good deal. I mean, for
family
business, it's not good. But in terms of artistic, the decision is very brave. It's a very brave film and has a lot of emotion. It's a kind of, you know, a highway of emotions. And at the end, I just was thinking, what could I do? What could I do if I have in this situation, you know, in this kind of decision among the pill and suffering. And in those terms, why did you have to do this film? I mean, you've been trying doing films in this industry during years. What was the point, Camille, in the you decide I'm gonna do a movie?
I always wanted to make films. You're right. I always wanted to make films. I think I chose this idea because I wanted to explore what it means to be privileged. I have my own inner conflict with privilege, and I know that I care about people who are struggling. I know I care about the refugees in particular in Europe. and it felt, and I also feel very betrayed by our government, and I was very upset about Brexit. So it felt a kind of a comment on our governments and the irresponsibility they have to the people who need help and support. And the pill and this and the environmental poison felt like like I said, a good metaphor to have these conversations. And I'm not saying that I know best, because you can ask Roman. I'm a complex character. I'm good and bad. I'm not just good. So I have my own struggles, you know, with parenting, and how can you be a good parent, and if you have trauma or you have damage. And so I wanted to kind of shine a light on the environment of the privileged classes, to see when they're really faced with horror, how can they react, and how should they react, and what should they do. And I think he is the voice of my innocent self, my childhood self, and he's hopefully the voice of the audience. But really, I wanted to use satire to discuss things that matter to me.
Yeah, and you accomplish. I mean, the movie has a lot of very good ideas. And a question for you and Roman: how important was the film Jojo Rabbit in terms of, you know, in the case of Roman, started a brilliant career in terms of your own movies, in terms of inspire you? How was that movie in your life, in your both of you?
Well, the characters in well, my character in Silent Night and my character in Jojo are really particularly different, seeing as one was basically a Nazi and the other wasn't. But I mean, I guess when preparing to do the part, I did the same thing, and I guess when thinking about the part, I did the same thing. So I don't really know how to answer the question.
I think the question is really like I think Roman wanted to act for a long time. He spent 2 years auditioning for different films, and it was without going into the story, it was a coincidence that he managed to audition for Jojo. And I think it was a transformation in all our lives, that opportunity for him, because I think it transformed Roman from just being a child to becoming an actor. So that's a huge thing. And how did that feel, you know?
Well, it was an amazing but big experience. But I guess, I mean, it was, the whole thing was a bit, I was very new to it, obviously, so I was just, I guess, taking it all in.
I think what's particularly interesting about Roman is that he's a very bright, emotionally bright child. He's a very challenging character. He thinks about important and difficult things, and he likes to have challenging conversations. So Jojo was a perfect foundation for him, because he wasn't in a kind of happy Disney movie. It was a Disney movie, but it started Roman off, I think, on the right platform for the things that I think he cares about as a person. And Roman's always saying to me, what projects have come in, and he wants to play, you know, psychopaths and mentally challenged people. He wants difficult roles. So I think that was the perfect introduction. And for me, being on the set of Jojo Rabbit and watching Roman and Taika work, Taika particularly, he transformed my relationship with storytelling, because I hadn't considered comedy before. My stories were kind of less good versions of Haneke's storytelling, and Haneke was a hero for me. And when I saw Taika using comedy, I thought, wow, okay, maybe this is where I've gone wrong. I could use comedy to talk about the subject matters, because Silent Night without comedy would just be hell, you know?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You need some ice in that hell, and comedy is the perfect ice. And my last question, and congratulations again. My last question is, what is your next move in this, for you, Camille, what is your next move in this industry as a filmmaker?
I'm very lucky, because the studios saw the film a year ago. In fact, Endeavour were selling the film for us. And some good studio mentors came forward and said, we like her work, we want to work with her. So I have a project that I wrote a long time ago, but as a treatment, and I recently wrote it as a script. So Searchlight, who made Jojo, are going to be making that hopefully next year, and with Keira Knightley as well. And then I have a project in development with Netflix. So I think I'm very lucky. Now I can make films. And if I don't screw it up, excuse my language, I think I have possibly a future. And it just depends whether this young man wants to work with me again.
I'm trying to persuade her to give me a part in it, but
And you need to be
she's making a few excuses, so I'm still
you need to be a good student, I guess, to get the part.
I'm gonna go through the process where I might start blackmailing her.
He's an amazing actor, but the role that he wants to play is young for him.
More excuses,
you see. So, and I want him to have his own career where he doesn't have to be shouted at by his mother. Yeah. But thank you so much.
Bueno, thank you, felicidades. Have a good Christmas, eh?
Happy Christmas to you, and I look forward to seeing how everyone reacts to the film. But thank you for your time.
Thank you.
No, it's very good. It's very good.
Gracias, Ernesto.